Uh, Welcome to the stream. I am your host, Real Zero, and unfortunately, it might be another one of those days today where it's really hot, so the stream probably won't go on for too long. One thing I will say is, gosh, what's it called? Um, I want to get the usual formalities out of the way, so. Um, Twitch shout out to Shin. He helps me out a lot. He's one of my mods. Follow if you can, and he helps me out a lot. And Shrimpy, he helps me out a lot as well. He's one of my mods as well. And yeah, we try to help each other out as much as possible. But if you can follow him, that'd be great as well. And the last one is again, I don't like Overwatch, but if you could support this guy's what's it called? Change.org position or petition, that'd be great. Again, I'm not paid by him at all or any of my friends. I'm just trying to help out a cause. So today, I'm sorry if I have a little bit less enthusiasm for the most part because again, it is California's uh is suffering through multiple electricity outages, and it's not great. I would again, like I kind of say, kind of thank you for the work that like the firefighters do and the electrical engineers or the electricians. I don't know what the proper term is, and the frontline workers, and everybody putting their everyone putting their hearts out on the line for the general population to stay safe. Thank you very much for that. But other than that, I don't want to be too heavy. Um, what I want to talk about today is a game called Katamari. Katamari came out. Sorry, I'm gonna take a drink for a second because sorry, I can't stress this enough. It's really hot, so. Um, Katamari is a game from Namco. Um, another series from Namco, and besides some of the jokes that are in the game, this is probably one of the most like family friendly franchises or whatever for Namco. It's not like like Soul Calibur or Tekken where it's really uh, sexist a lot of the time. Um, but yeah, Katamari Damacy or Katamari Damacy. I can't think about how to properly say it, but I think it's like Katamari itself. The word is like I think Mari is the word for ball, like like the guy says in Samurai Warriors, Kemari, which is a old Shinto like version of soccer almost, and then kata, or I think is something like it's like the word for like like gum or something like that, or something where it's it's just something sticks to the ball. So combine those together, you get like a gumball or something like that. Uh, but so that's kind of the um I think I always get this wrong, like etymology or the discussion of the word. The game in question is true to the word form. And sorry, I was struggling to think of what I was could talk about. Um, what's it called? Um, that or Truth of the Game. You are the I think he's in there. Or no, never mind. He's not on that picture. You are the prince, the son of the king and queen of the cosmos, and your job is, or the story is set up that um, the king, the father, went on kind of a a bender, and he destroyed all the stars in the galaxy. So, unfortunately for you, you are set to to task to rebuild all the stars, and that's the first game. There's also a subplot with the human family members, the Hoshinos, and the Hoshinos are really funny. All the graphical style of the game. It's like it's kind of some weird like cell shading ish like type thing. I can't exactly describe it. Something not entirely from Jet Set Radio, but that kind of idea where it's like anime ish, but not exactly. Um, but the Hoshinos are, and Hoshi by itself is again a lot of Japanese words have two meanings. A Hoshi is not just I think the verb to want, but also um, it's gosh what am I trying to think of it? It also means star. So um, so it's kind of perfect. I don't remember what no exactly means, but Hoshi by itself can mean star. I think as a noun or by the kanji or the or how you spell it. So um, so the Hoshinos they have a son and they have a daughter. The son always sees the shenanigans in the background of either the king or the prince rolling around the Katamari, and he always is flabbergasted, and he tries to explain it to his mom, but uh, the mom is always like, "No, you didn't see anything." And then the the girl Hoshino, I can't remember any of their names. She recognizes whenever a constellation comes back, so she's attuned to the universe and all that. So they they have some really funny English lines. Like later in the story, the father Hoshino he says something like called off" in the English version, and it just comes across as very funny. Unfortunately for the HD version of Katamari that came that uh, was released on the Switch a couple maybe a year or so ago, they use the Japanese track for the audio, and I was really disappointed because the English is a treat to hear. It's like it's kind of like almost with Dynasty Warriors. I love a lot of the times the English voices, and they intersperse sometimes the Japanese with the English voices with different games, and it's the English voices kind of make it goofy and stand out. So I kind of prefer the English over the Japanese sometimes. But anyway, so the Hoshinos are a subplot of the story. The father is an astronaut. I don't know what the mom's occupation is so much, and again, the kids are both students. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot about Katamari in depth, and I know I'm not getting to the point of the story yet, or the point of the game yet. Um, so using your Katamari, the gumball or whatever, you pick up objects and you make um, you know um, you make it as big as Katamari as you can get or be in the stage, and then the next resulting matter is that if you did it well, then the next thing or the resulting Katamari will get turned into a star. So that's the whole uh, part of the game and part of the story and all that. So, um, it's a lot to describe, and I know I just probably described it in the most boring way. The first game in the series, Katamari Damacy, has the probably the or some of the good songs in the series. Um, the controls are a bit wonky. I wish they fix them in the HD version that they for the Switch, but I swear they didn't. And they added the motion controls for the HD version, but I could never seem to like I swear I never knew if they were working or not. Like they could have explained that better a lot. Or I mean, they sorry, that almost like was Yoda speak. I wish they explained that much better. Um, also, what's interesting as well is that if you do well, if you complete the goal in a fast enough time, or if you get a good record for the stage, like mass comparison or whatever. If you break the record, then you can unlock a comment, and when you're in another like sub mode, there's the star view in which you made in the universe, and it's a very fantastic musical piece for both the first and second games, and when you complete it fast enough, you unlock a comment or a comet, and I don't remember what you would get for mass comparison. Also, I think maybe just you get like a almost an asterisk for mass, but I think I remember whenever a speed condition is fulfilled, you get a comet, and then you with all the corresponding buttons, you can have like a comet shower. So it's really that's another thing to strive for in the game. They in that picture too. I'm sorry. There's all the cousins in the game. Probably one of my favorites. I think it's on the lower left side is June, and she's like the blue polka dot character, and Miso. She's kind of in the center with the bowl shaped head, and she just has a bowl of soup on her head, and it's just she's one of the favorite characters in the game, because she's so goofy, and I wish I could have ready made soup just to just to have at will. But all the cousins are funny, especially again, like I was saying, I Miso's funny. And I think Marnie's pretty funny. He's that tennis ball shaped one in the lower uh in the lower part of the screen. So other than that, that's all I can say about the first game. Besides, I forgot to say, there are also another condition to find is they have presents in the stage, and so it's another reward incentive for you to get. Some of them are really difficult to get, and they take some trying to do, but they give you a lot of cool accessories slash stuff. They give you like a guitar and like a couple of masks, some hair items in the later games, like a goofy pompadour type thing. I think they have like hobby horse cardboard boxes type thing. But yeah, they're pretty funny to talk about. Unfortunately, since it's the first game, it's got a lot of heart, but they don't have all the like good features yet. So no, none of the cousins are playable. They're just kind of there for you to collect, unfortunately. So you cannot play them unless you want to play the multiplayer mode. So for the next game, thankfully they added it so that you can play as all the cousins. They added a lot of different new cousins for the second game. The second game in question is We Love Katamari, and We Love Katamari is such a step above the first game, because It has a lot of great songs. For the underwater stage, there's a song called Disco Prince. That's a very great one. Um, uh, for the Firefly stage, where it's like a low lit night, it there's a song called Angel Rain, and that one's really great too. It's a really great transfer moods. Like it's the first part half of the song is like a kind of like stargazing night in Paris. If you like think about it, it adds like accordion and a couple other like oh and a Spanish guitar. Guitar is great. Sometimes classified as classical guitar, but Spanish guitar is really worth listening to if you have a little bit of time. So they have Spanish guitar, accordion for the first part, and then it transfers it to like a rave nightclub type music, because then they have like like a heavy bass synth, and they have the accordion every now and then, and they have a lot of I think violins or violas intermittently through the song as well. So that's a great song. I will say there are some difficult theme stages. They had theme stages in the first one as well. One is like you set out a set like mass, and you have to guess if if you're close to the right mass that is required for the star to be made. Um, and then there's other ones where I like only collect a certain type of object. Like in the first one, there's collect all types of like swans or Cygnuses or whatever to form the constellation Cygnus, and same thing where like you collect a lot of fish or fish based items for Pisces. Uh, and then it kind of goes on from there. And in the second stage, or I mean the second game, they have a lot of theme stages, but some of those themes are difficult. Like there's one where it's you have a set fire, and you need to keep on collecting hot items to make sure the fire doesn't go out. And if you land in water or collect significant hot or cold items, then the oh sneezy. Hyper, are you okay? Um, Sorry if you heard that. That was my cat. Um, she's sitting on the chair next to me, so she's just hanging out. Um, Hang on, I'm gonna take a quick drink, real quick. All right. Landing in the water is an automatic game over, and again, it gets dire when you hit a lot of cold items. So and I was going like I was going like, should I talk about the fire when everything's so hot right now? And anyway, like I was kind of saying, there's new cousins. Like there's one where it's there's a version of the prince called Slip, or another cousin called Slip, and he's like a flat Stanley in the second game. So there's new cousins like that, and the story of the second one is kind of funny too. It doesn't. I think it doesn't really. I can't remember regardless of what you're making, because in the first game you're making stars or constellations. In the second game, I think you're making planets, but it's confusing of what you're actually making. I think you're making constellations as well in the second game, but the story is regaling us with how the king grew up. And hey, Shrimpy, oh, what, you can use all those emotes at once? I was thinking that you can only use one of the what's it called? Um, Only have one assigned for right now. But thank you for dropping by, Shrimpy. Um, or have you been here the whole time and it's just you, me, and Shin? So, but But anyway, thank you regardless. So, um, where was it? But it regales us with a king growing up. He had he had a difficult relationship with his father. Uh, I can't remember the king's father's name. Maybe Grand King or Grandfather King or something like that. Um, but then yeah, so it's kind of and then I think the first kind of thing they talk about how the first game was such a wild success, so they want to continue that trend. Um, but anyway, the last thing think I'll talk about is Beautiful Katamari. It was technically like almost the third game because they had a PSP game, and it was kind of like like Metroid Prime. They had Metroid Prime, but they also released Metroid Fusion in the same time window. So they have a console release and they have a handheld release as well. So uh, again, they have new cousins. Right. I gotcha, Shrimby. That's perfectly fine. I was really like even more sweating bullets, not just because of heat, but like I swear I only saw two, so I assume it's Shin as well, just hanging out. But I feel like it's gonna mess up the average, but at the same time, I gotcha. Um, but at the same time, the average was still like 3.29 or something like that. So I know I shouldn't look at it, but still um, but it was still like good overall. Sorry, Piper. What you want? Dude, what? I'm sorry. I can't. You have to like. I'll help you out in a minute, Piper. This won't like streaming won't be too long. I'm almost finished. Um. So, beautiful Katamari. It's I forgot to say, and we love Katamari. The controls are much better. Same thing with beautiful Katamari. The console release on the Xbox 360. I think it only released for Xbox 360. Or I swear it only released for Xbox 360. I don't know if it released on PS3. And that kind of leads me to my other point. After Beautiful Katamari and the last one released on PS3, there was kind of a dry spell. There was a Katamari mobile, and they released the HD version of it called Katamari Damacy Reroll. So I thought that was kind of funny. Um, the third one, Beautiful Katamari. Um, they have new cousins like Mag, and they added DLC and online multiplayer. They have some good songs. One of the I know this if I remember correctly, this cousin comes from I think the mobile ones, but there's a cousin called like Pockle or something like that, and he's way too human looking. He's not one of those like uh like hats or heads like stretching out to the side type thing. He looks way too human for any of the characters. So I think that's yes, I'm sorry in general for the YouTube audience if you like Pockle. I think he doesn't fit with the theme of the cousins. I mean, again, a lot of the cousins have like weird shapes too, but like Pockle is just way too human for me. I know if I remember correctly too, I think they even say that in the description. He's very different. Um, gosh, what else was I gonna say? Um, I think Beautiful Katamari is a great game for the 360, but unfortunately, also I think they didn't make that one back compat like a lot of other Japanese games on Xbox 360 through the Xbox One. Backwards compatible. Um, but they what was I gonna say? They have a little slight difficulty because the way you play Katamari, and I really should have said this on the first for part of the first conversation. Um, they have it so you use both analog sticks on your PS2, PS1 controller, or no, sorry, it came out on PS2, PS2 controller, and so you push forward with both the sticks, and that's how you play the game. And then you like uh you wiggle them back and forth to like do this like a speed up. Clicking the sticks, you can hop over it, and it's kind of awkward with the 360 controller because the control stick is on the left side, and then there's another control stick on the right side, and it's not exactly conducive to um uh or it was not the most conducive to play the game with, because again you got so used to the PlayStation analog controller, and then they with the 360 version it's like it's different. But again, I think it's why possibly because I don't remember with Beautiful Katamari, since it might have been only for the 360. I think it's crazy at that point that so many Japanese video game developers uh, were kind of jumping ship from the PS3 to 360, like Final Fantasy 13 and Beautiful Katamari, and that's all I can think of right now. Oh yeah, Fantasy Star Universe was one, and that's all I can think about. Um, Thank you for dropping by or jumping in, Shrimpy, and thank you for whoever is another person's hanging in. I think it might be Shin. Um, we're about to end the stream, but I wanted to put up that other image because that's the finale. The second image for the finale of the first game, and the first game is they have like a subsequent like thing for that or subsequent stage for that in each game. Uh, but why I point out the this first image, and this is from uh, both the images or was for when I was playing the HD version on Switch. But you roll up countries in the finale, and there's this really goofy song about crap. There goes my pen. It's a really goofy song about like love and connecting with one another, and I think that's really inspiring because I think we need more of that in this day and age instead of just people going nuts all over the place. So but yeah, that's that. I think that's all I can say about Katamari. It's a great game. I know. I think I taught Shrimpy, if you're still there. I was talking about it with I think one of Yuri's friends about a couple Japanese games, and I mentioned Katamari, and he was kind of right where it was everywhere, but I kind of put it out there because a lot of people still don't know about Katamari, which I was kind of flabbergasted by. I know it probably ran, I know it probably ran all the time on like XPlay with Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb, because I know it's like a lot of review gaming websites or review video game oriented websites. They were just universal praise for it was like, or it was universal. It was just it was a fun quirky game, or it was a fun wholesome game, and I guess maybe why so many people were going crazy over it. It's probably because there wasn't like a or gosh, I think what I'm trying to say is that it was another new game on the horizon or another new IP, and like people wanted to try it out as much as possible. I wish I could find any like extra copies online or at least locally because uh, like we lost the second copy of We Love Katamari, and well, effectively lost. And I was just looking around to try and see if there was another place to buy it, because like but I swear it's like nobody wants to sell their copy of any Katamari game except I think the one where one of our friends got it for me, the or not We Love Katamari, but the first Katamari game from a flea market, and I was pretty happy with that because I played We Love Katamari initially, and then Beautiful Katamari, the third one, and then I never played the first one, and then my friend got me the copy, and I was like, okay, this pretty good game. Again, the controls were kind of wonky for the first one, but other than that, they improved tenfold through the series, and it's a great game if you haven't tried it out yet. I know it's like I know I should wrap it up, but I'm trying to get a little bit more time as well. I think the other thing I was going to say is I was really debating today, Shrimpy, about how it was either Katamari, or I was really thinking about talking about Custom Robo, and Custom Robo's uh, I don't have any images of Custom Robo. Maybe that will be the next stream slash podcast slash whatever, or Sarasaland cast. I can't even pronounce the name of the cast. Um, but what was I going to say? Custom Robo is another like franchise by Nintendo, but it's like Pilot Wings or F Zero. Well, never mind. It's probably still in the same echelon as Pilot Wings because Pilot Wings is still like they don't know what to do with it, so it's like they have a couple of handheld releases every now and then, or I think something of that nature, because I think there was one on the 3DS, but that's about it. But I think maybe Custom Robo might be the next stream. So I thank you guys for stopping by. But I'm your host, Rio.